everybody, Miss Ashley here with my dog Lucky, and today I am going to show you how to make pumpkin patch muffins. So we just had Thanksgiving. I'm sure a lot of you have leftover pumpkin puree and you're like, what can I do with that? Well, I'm going to show you how to make muffins from this cookbook, Fun Recipes Kids Who Will Love to Bake by Deanna F. Cook. Well, her last name is Cook, so hopefully that's a good omen for this recipe. So these are the ingredients that you're going to need, and like always, I'm going to link the ingredients and the amounts below. So don't worry about that. So the first thing we're going to need to do is you're going to need to wash your hands. So I just had to push my dog down, so give a quick scrub. Then dry it. And that way our hands are nice and clean, because dogs' heads can be quite dirty. So the first thing we're going to need to do is you're going to need to get 2 cups of flour. So this is my flour right here. And I'm going to actually use the big bowl. Nope, small bowl. I'm going to put in 2 cups of flour. 1 cup. And then 2 cups. That wasn't quite a full cup, so it's a little bit more. There we go. That's 2 cups of flour. And then we need to add in the spices. So because we're doing pumpkin, usually you have traditional spices like cinnamon and nutmeg and clove. So we're gonna add those to this. So it calls for 1 tablespoon cinnamon. Ooh, that's a lot of cinnamon. Okay, so let me find my cinnamon here. Let me just put in, there we go, 1 tablespoon cinnamon. Oh my gosh, I love the smell of cinnamon. It just really smells really nice. And then we need our baking powder. So it says half a teaspoon baking powder. Half a teaspoon baking powder. There we go. Then we need our friend baking soda. This is calling for 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Let's get this in. Plop that in there. And then it says we need our allspice. So allspice is half a teaspoon. Oops. Half a teaspoon. So allspice is like a combination of like clove and nutmeg. There we go, throw that in. And then it wants some, okay, I'm gonna add some ground cardamom because I think cardamom tastes really good with pumpkin. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cardamom. You don't have to, but I happen to enjoy that spice. And I think that is all I need. So then we're just going to give this a stir and get all these ingredients mixy. Just like that, mixy. It smells really nice. It smells very spicy. All right. And that should, it kind of turns like a brownie color, you know, from all that cinnamon. Okay, don't stir it so vigorously or you're gonna end up wearing it, or your table's gonna look a little snowy. Okay, so now we go to the big bowl and we need to crack 2 eggs. So crack 1 egg, crack 2 eggs, throw that out. We need to whisk it. And then try not to get any shells in. And if you do happen to have some shells in, just extract them, you know. I think I cracked my egg a bit too vigorously there. So we gotta give these eggs a whisk. Okay. We are whisking. And you know your eggs are whisked when your arm starts to burn. So when you feel the burn, you know you've done a really good job whisking. Okay, there we go. And now it says we need to add the sugar. So for the sugar, it calls for 1 1/4 cup of sugar. So get your sugar out. There we go. And then put in 1 cuppy. Wasn't quite a cup again, just, there you go, 1 cup sugar. And then it says put in 1/4 cup as well. So 1/4 cup of sugar. There we go. And then we need to pour in 1/2 cup of milk. Just pour that in. And then it calls for 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, but I'm going to show you a way to avoid using oil. You can actually put in apple sauce. So what I do, it makes it a little bit healthier and adds a nice flavor to it. So I just plop in 1 little carton of applesauce, and that can take the place of the oil. Again, you don't have to do this, but this is how I make them. So I'm gonna do it this way. Just so you can see, again, you don't have to do this. So we're gonna stir this all together. Give it a little stir. And then we have to add the star ingredient, which is our pumpkin puree. So I'm gonna open it with my can opener. With the can opener. And it calls for 1 cup of canned puree. So I'm just going to take my little scoop here. I'm just going to scoop in 2 of those. That's about a cup. So put that away. My handy helper's laughing at me. Sheesh. So give this a little mix. So it looks a little orangey-porangey here. Again, not too vigorously, but we do need to mix this. So just make sure all the sides are scraped. I think I might paint my door this color. What do you think? Maybe? Too much? No. Okay, so then it says to add the pumpkin puree to the dry ingredients. So I probably should have done this in a bigger bowl to start, but it's okay. I guess my dog likes pumpkin. Okay, so we're gonna slowly mix this in. Slowly, 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 slowly. Slowly, 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 slowly. Handy helper. Okay, just a little bit at a time. Give it a mix. Okay, here's a fun tip for you. Don't use a whisk to stir wet ingredients into dry ingredients. It's gonna get really goopy. So see, this is lots of tips you're gonna learn on this baking show. Primarily, it's a what not to do tutorial. Also, don't bake when you have dogs around because they really get in the way. Just like this one. Who invited you? Okay, use a wooden spoon and move this around. That's better. Goodness gracious. Okay, pour it in. Pour it in. Okay. It does smell really good though. It does. It does smell really good. Okay, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. One more batch to plop in. Like soup. Like soup. Okay. Mix it in. So you can add other ingredients to this. So this recipe says you can add cranberries or raisins, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some chocolate chips, just for a little extra sweetness. Because I find pumpkin on its own can be a little bitter at times, so I'm going to add some chocolate chips to this pumpkin party. Okay, so she mixed. I'm gonna dump in some chocolate chips. This is about, I don't know, half a cup of chocolate chips. I'm gonna plop that in there. I'm gonna give it a stir. And I think, handy helper, can you grab me some walnuts? The top. You know, get a hand. There we go. I'm gonna put some walnuts in here. Thank you. Just for a little crunch. A little crunch. All right. And that once you have everything in your bowl, all the ingredients that you want, you are going to need to put them in your muffin tray. There we go. So for your muffin tray, you can put little paper, but I have silicone, which is great for baking because it comes out easy. But just because you have silicone in there, you need to give it a spray. So take like your pan, and these are also reusable, so it's better than paper. And it doesn't quite stick like paper does, so give it a quick spray, and then you need to put the wet into here. So I'm just going to, now there's no nice way to do this. If you can find a way to do it nice and prettily, get out. Oh, jeez. Okay. Just pull, try to get in there as neat as you can. You know. I always said my baking never looked very pretty, but it tasted good, so we'll run with that. So I have my temperature in my oven set for 375. I had already turned that on before I started this process, so it's always good if you turn your oven on before you start baking, that way it gets to the right temperature. All right. Okay, we're almost there. You're probably gonna have some extra, so you can do another batch, but okay. There we go. Okay. So we'll try to make them about their same amount. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Does it look good? Does that look good to you? You're nosy. You are nosy. This is not for duckies. Get out of here. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly like clean up any of the mess that I got. It's not too bad. No one invited you. Anyway, so we're gonna give it a little bang. That way everything kind of falls into place. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven. Right in the oven. Right there. And we're going to set our timer for 15 minutes. I'm gonna set it for 16 minutes though, because my timer's a bit funny. So I'm going to, there we go. 16 minutes, let that cook, and then I'll be right back to show you the finished product. Hi everybody, I'm back and my beeper is about to go up. There it goes, there's the beeper. So put your oven mitt on and then turn this off. And then we're going to just grab them out. going to leave these to cool. Give them about maybe like 5 or 6 minutes to cool before you try to take them out, because that pan is very, very hot. And then put them on a nice wire rack. So I'm going to do that once they cool, and then I will show you the finished product. So Hi everybody, we are back, and I have taken the muffins out of their little silicone holders, and they have cooled down enough for me to be able to enjoy eating them. So once again, this recipe was brought to you by Fun Recipes Kids Will Love to Bake, Baking Class by Deanna F. Cook. You can find it on page 30 under Pumpkin Patch Muffins. So I hope you enjoyed this baking tutorial. Remember, you do not have to do what I did. You can stick to the exact recipe, or you can fiddle a little bit. But in the meantime, I am going to enjoy the fruits of my labor and have a muffin with a nice glass of milk. So let's see. Oh, they're good when they're warm. My raw chocolate just melts. We should make this. Until next time, guys, enjoy baking. Bye-bye. That is really good. Hey, sheets.